What you see behind me is a 4x8 plot. I don't know what I'm doing. As much as I know about classic cars, I don't know jack about gardening.
2 hours later.
And right behind me is the planted plot. Everything's planted, watered, fertilized, and now it's just a matter of me keeping up with it and seeing what I did right and what I did wrong. Stay tuned to learn what I plant and how I used AI to optimize this 4x8 bed in a suburban garden. If you're not familiar with what a square foot garden is, it's basically where you take your plot and divide it into 1-foot squares. In my case, I have a 4-foot by 8-foot plot. So that effectively gives me 32 spaces. There's a bunch of videos out there. I'm not going to waste your time. But basically, I used brad nails, spaced it out in 1-foot increments, and used a heavy twine that's brightly colored we got from Tractor Supply. So I have 32 spaces theoretically to work with. But there's other considerations. First of all, what plants do I want to grow in my space? Now, my wife and I have 5 4x8 plots. She has the other ones already taken care of. Garlic and onion she planted last winter, and she plans to do some zucchini, a couple of other things. So I have those already covered. For my little 4x8 plot, I wanted to get the most yield. I make a pretty good salsa, some would call it a pico de gallo, and I want to can that this year. I also love green beans and yellow beans, hoping to get some strawberries. Do the 3 peppers I need for my salsa. So I wanted 4 plants of San Marzano, which are plum tomatoes. That's the key ingredient in my salsa. I also love carrots. I wanted to grow those and try those. The considerations I have to think about are how best to plant those plants. Are any of those plants not compatible with one another? The worst thing you can do is plant 2 plants that are not compatible right next to one another, because both will not fare well. Are any of the plants I selected good companion plants? What is a companion plant? Well, the only one I know of is green or yellow beans and corn. They thrive next to one another for reasons I'm not exactly clear yet. You also have to consider how quickly each one's going to grow. For example, I wanted to put a little leaf lettuce in because we do not have any. And now that it's going, as I do this video, it's early May. By July, it'll be too hot for lettuces to germinate anymore. So that'll leave a few squares open for me to try something else during that time. All of these considerations make it quite complicated to figure out what exactly I need, especially for a newbie like me. So I decided I was going to use AI, artificial intelligence. Right? So how would I do that? Well, I'm not using ChatGPT or Gemini or the Chinese one. I can't even remember the name right now. I'm using GROK, which is the AI engine in X, which is formerly known as Twitter. So how did I use AI to develop my garden? Well, we'll go through it in a minute. But the first thing I did is I told it the dimensions of my plot, and more importantly, which sides, based on the direction. My 8-foot section goes from east to west, while the 4-foot section goes north to south. I then told GROK what plants I was interested in planting, and once it spit out a layout, I add some additional questions that I thought of as I go. It's actually a very conversational tool to use, not like the other AI engines. So I have to say GROK made it very simple. What's nice about it is using it is a huge change from trying to Google everything and look at 15 different sites. This tool really uses it, really does that for you. So let's see how I did it. The first thing I asked is, what garden zone am I? I don't know. So I put my zip code in, and it gave me this very detailed answer. So it quickly told me that, along with a couple of disclaimers about the area and microclimates. So be it. My wife had some peanuts she's been wanting to try and plant. So I asked GROK, how many spaces do I need for peanuts? And as it turns out, that's one of those crops that you only put 1 seed in per square. So then I sent to it, show a proper layout of a 4x8-foot garden with the following plants in it. So I asked it for yellow and green pole beans, carrots, peanuts, plum tomatoes, one banana pepper plant, one red pepper plant, and one green pepper plant, cilantro, red and green leaf lettuce, and as a wild card, I wanted to put baby watermelon in. I want to try to grow that this year. And then a couple other wild cards, because I like them, is corn and strawberries. Now, corn, be interested to see what kind of yield I get in the square foot garden. I thought it'd be cool to try that. Now, as you see here, it took me through and gave me this very detailed layout considerations and bumped out this layout. Now, what's interesting here is the first thing I picked up on, it's showing the 8 rows north to south. So when I first put the question in, it was assuming that was the layout, and I had to tell it, no, this is where I had to tell it. Let me try again. The 8-foot length runs east to west, while the 4-foot length runs north to south. And when it did that, it spit it out and revised everything within a couple of seconds. So in that layout, the first thing I noticed is that it had the watermelon, the southeast corner. Given the limited space I have, a watermelon's a vine plant, and it's just going to grow all over the place. I can't do that because I'll be intruding on other plots next to me. So I want to trellis these baby watermelon. I'm going to grow them. I'm going to try to grow them vertically. So as you can see, that was my next question. Can I move the watermelons to the north side of the layout? And to which GROK quickly replied and gave me a revised layout. And there you see it moved it to the back row next to some of the corn. The interesting thing about that layout is it had 4 plots of carrots, 4 square feet, if you will. And with the ability to plant 16 seeds each, I will have carrots coming out of our ears. As much as I love carrots, we're not going to have that. I don't want to. I want to have something else. And I love strawberries, and now would be the time to plant them. Substitute that, to which it replied. And it did that, and it did an updated layout, and it started putting those in. So unfortunately, the way I worded that question, it thought I wanted to replace the carrots with strawberries. So I had to go back in and say to it, no, sorry, I wanted to keep a combination of carrots and strawberries, and it revised the layout accordingly. So finally, my question was, Last year, my wife grew green beans for me, and unfortunately, they don't like good canned. They have strings in them, and they just didn't taste well. So it was kind of a lost cause. So one of the important considerations I want to think about this year is what green beans and yellow bean varieties don't have strings in them. And I asked GROK that, and it did. Another consideration you have to remember is, given that it's early May, what kinds of crops can I plant with seed versus using something that's been growing over the winter? So GROK recommended the leaf lettuce, tomatoes, peppers, and strawberries. I buy plants for those. Everything else could be planted as seed, and that's what I'm doing. So you can see it bake. There's my layout. I'm going to put it in the corner here. But first thing I did was I staged all the plants based on the layout. There's the strawberries. There's the leaf lettuce, the peppers. And now you see me throw the packs of seeds down. Those are the peanuts and the carrots. A couple varieties of carrots. The cilantro, I'm planting my seed. And I'm actually putting corn in. And there's the baby watermelon. Probably risking it with the baby watermelon. It's going to be interesting to see if it does grow from seed or not. Okay. And there you briefly see me starting to put the stakes in for the tomatoes, where I'm going to put those in. But here I am, jumping ahead here. I basically planted everything already, dug them in. Plenty of videos on experts on how you should do that. We use a mushroom soil we get from central Pennsylvania. One of the other gardeners graciously goes and picks it up. We pay him for it. So we have a very rich soil that we put in these plots every early spring. And you see we put straw over the plots over the winter. That minimizes the weeds, but then we don't have anything else in this. So basically, I'm just digging things and putting them in. So here you see me in this final shot watering everything in. This was on Mother's Day, and as luck would have it, we've had rain the past 2 days here in Jersey, so it's not an issue. That's my first episode. Keep you posted on how things went. I'm going to go weekly cadence on these videos. So if you enjoyed this video, please press the like button. And if you'd like to follow my weekly vlog on how my garden progresses here in 2025, I encourage you to subscribe. Those two things will help grow the channel and get the message out for other people that may be considering doing square foot gardening. I thank you for watching. Get out there and enjoy the garden, and we'll talk to you soon.